ગુડ આફ્ટરનૂન કહી શકો ચાલશે. આપણને ઇંગ્લિશ ગુજરાતી બધું ફાવે છે, રાઈટ? ઓલ રાઈટ. સો before we start the panel discussions, right, I want you guys to be engaged in the panel, right? Because see, speaker sessions આના પહેલાં પણ હતા સારા સારા, આના પછી પણ છે, પેનલ એક જ છે, રાઈટ? એન્ડ પેનલ ડિસ્કશન એ એકલો એવો સેશન છે જેમાં લાઈક યુ ગાઈઝ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ ગુજરાતી? આવો મને तो जाग तो रहे हो एटलीस्ट, ठीक. सो पैनल डिस्कशन ऐसा अकेला सेशन है जिसमें आपको एक्सपीरियंसेस और इंटरेक्शन मिलेगा, राइट? सो दिस इज आई गेस वन ऑफ द मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल सेशंस. सो बी विथ अस, राइट? इसे आप ऐसे समझ सकते हो कि जैसे हम 5 दोस्त किसी चाय के टपरी में बैठे, राइट? जैसे हम रजवाड़ी चाय पे बैठे, राइट? एंड यू आर गेटिंग अ विंडो ऑफ आवर कन्वर्सेशन, राइट? सो अज्यूम इट लाइक दैट so that you will get to learn quite much out of it. With me, everyone? Yes. Raise your hand who are with us. We are. Okay. Cool. So we'll start the session. I will quickly introduce our panelists over here. So first, on my left, I have Miss Rutvi. Apart from being a super agent or being a super duper product manager at Wave, she recently, from in just last 2-3 years, from software side, she has migrated into product side, right? So it's been quite a journey, right? So please give a good hand of applause for Rutvi. Next, we have on the left of Rutvi, we have Gautam Yadav sir, head of Vena India and entrepreneur at core. बाकी आप लोग मुझसे पहले सुबह मिल ही चुके हो, right? So you guys know a lot about him. More, he will introduce himself in the session. Next, on the left of him is Chetan Hirapara sir. So apart from being lead at Teradata, he is someone who is always excited even till date to whenever he is creating one agent or the other, right? So please give a good hand of applause for Chetan Hirapara sir. Next, last but not the least, Saurabh Mishra sir. Apart from being DevOps ninja at TSYS, fun fact, अच्छा अभी रात को सब लोग गुजरात से है, बाहर से कोई आया है? गुजरात के बाहर से कितने लोग आए? ओके फाइन, मेजॉरिटी गुजरात से. सो रात को अगर आपको कोई इमरजेंसी होती है तो आप कौन सा नंबर डायल करते हो? 108? करेक्ट. मुझे लगा कोई तारक मेहता बोलेगा. सो 108 से भी ज़्यादा सर्टिफिकेट्स है सौरभ मिश्रा सर के साथ, राइट? ही हैज़ 110, 126. मैं नंबर भूल गया हूँ सर, अभी पता चला सुबह से आप एक और लेके बैठे हो तो मुझे पता नहीं है, राइट? सो दैट्स ऑल्सो वन थिंग दैट आफ्टर द सेशन यू गाइज कैन कॉन्टैक्ट हिम फॉर सर्टिफिकेशंस एंड ऑल द अदर थिंग्स. सो प्लीज गिव ह्यूज राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर सौरभ मिश्रा सर. ऑलराइट. सो पहला क्वेश्चन आप सबके लिए है, आप में से कितने लोगों ने जीसीपी में आज तक लॉग इन किया है? बाकी लोग फ्री में मिलता है क्रेडिट्स उसमें, पता है ना? हाँ अच्छा, बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे थे तब तक? ठीक है, फाइन. सो we'll as you see, we'll keep it more interactive during the session as well. So I'll quickly go into the session. I'll ask some questions to you sir, but before that, if you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves, Rutvi, if you want to introduce yourself, we'll start with that.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, am I audible? Yeah. Hi, my name is Rutvi. I am working as a product manager at Weam AI. We have recently open sourced our platform. It's a team collaborative platform where we are integrating different LLM models and giving people that build AI agents in our platform. A little bit about myself. I started my journey as a software engineer in fintech companies where I build secure and scalable platforms. Over the time, I found myself very passionate and fascinated with the intersection of AI and product thinking. So that curiosity has led me here. So yes, it's about myself.
Thank you so much. So quickly, I will ask a question to you quickly. So guys, the product at the company at which she works, right? उनका पूरा प्रोडक्ट ओपन सोर्स है. तो रुद्वी, हम तो गुजराती है, हमें एक चीज़ समझ में आता है, पैसा और धंधा, ठीक? तो ओपन सोर्स कंपनी पैसा कैसे कमाती है? हम तो उसे फ्री में डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं.
I think it's a $1 million question. I would say it's a recipe, but without giving an experience of the restaurant. So, for example, everyone here knows what a Y Combinator is. Yes. Okay. So basically, if you don't know that, it's an accelerator startup program which is based on the Silicon Valley. So they have this product next led strategy which is very famous by the Y Combinator startup of getting open source to get the goodwill of the people, goodwill from the developers. So for example, if you take a lot of big companies like Stripe here, everyone here knows Stripe? Yes. Yes. So for example, Stripe, Reddit. Then we also have Supabase. Anyone here know Supabase is? Yes. So Supabase is already an open source which has like 1.7 million developers who are using it. So we wanted to build a developer first community. We wanted to build a product-led community. Plus, when we talk about revenue, we will be generating revenue through the enterprise solutions. So you always have a catch when you open source your models, open source your projects. Even in GitHub, if you check the open source projects, you have like different licenses. So you have MIT license which you can use. People can download that open source and make it an enterprise solutions. But when you have different licenses like Apache, you can't like use it at enterprise level, or you can't white label it. So that's a revenue stream for us.
Alright, so something similar like what Red Hat did, right?
Exactly.
Linux free है, but Red Hat is majorly due to the support and the services that it provides. Because कोई भी enterprise होगा, उसे ऐसा नहीं होगा कि Linux हमने यूज़ कर रहे, कहीं पे कुछ सर्वर पे इशू आ गया, हम जाके GitHub पे रिक्वेस्ट डाल दी, बग रेज कर दिया. वो जब मन होगा तब सॉल्व होगा, because it's a community-led thing.
Exactly.
But if it's a service that is provided by enterprise, then that's the value for it.
Exactly.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Gautam sir. If you can quickly introduce yourself to our audience.
I think I introduced myself in depth in this session, but I am heading Vena's Gen AI initiative, and I also run a company named Innojet Technologies. I'm the CEO of the company. This is my second time speaking at Google event.
All right. So, the quick question to you. हम लोग सब like here also before we got on the stage, there were a few people who said कि वो लोग कुछ बना रहे हैं, कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स बना रहे हैं, कुछ MVPs बना रहे हैं, right? So छोटे मोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाना एक चीज़ है, but having a product, right? जिसमें let's say you have lots of users, you have lots of revenue, and then उसमें let's say if someone tells you कि भाई AI चल रहा है, AI डाल दो, right? So how do you मतलब ये वो बहुत ही अलग लीग और अलग गेम है, राइट? सो हाउ डू यू डू दैट एंड लाइक हाउ डू यू गो फ्रॉम लाइक MVP to large size products and you can add AI into it, because AI तो डालना ही है वरना पैसा नहीं मिलेगा.
That's a great question, first, right? So if you see with every era, we as human are actually solving the same problem with better technology, right? We were having hard time sending the messages through mails. Then we got access to emails that changed the way we were approaching the problem. We were having hard time sending the messages when we got internet. We got lots of apps where we can create group. It has changed the way we were living, right? So you are actually solving the same problem with better technology. And that's where I promote zero-based design. You should not impose. If you don't need AI, don't use it. If it is a simple use case, don't push it. But we should start thinking about how to solve the same problem with this new shift. That's where the real game is. If you're having an idea and you're thinking, I have to put some AI into it, that's not how it will work. It will work when you understand the entire ecosystem and the power of the LLM. Right from the story that I shared about a startup in Indore is $5 million. They implemented the zero-based design. They have a problem. They have a technology. They had the technology. They implemented it. Right? It's like coming up with a whiteboard, AI-powered whiteboard within your own coaching institute. That's how you're pushing AI. But if you want to make it a revolution, you have to think differently.
All right, thank you. So that's quite interesting, right? So like as a developer, यहाँ पे कितने लोग React वगैरह पे काम करते हैं, right? Okay. हाँ ये चाल है भाई बहन अच्छे चाल है. So कल कोई वॉलंटियर ने बताया बॉटल आप ही दे पानी नहीं.
आ रहे आगे पड़ी से.
और बहुत देखो कोई पास है आप ही जगह और ऐसे.
Okay. हाँ.
So just like if as a developer, if I would like to summarize on that, तो सब Redux वगैरह सबको पता होगा जो React करते हैं. तो जब तक it's similar like that कि Redux की ज़रूरत नहीं है तो मत डालो, right? It will unnecessarily make things complex. आप use context यूज़ कर सकते हो, आप basic जो चीज़ जो data flow के लिए यूज़ हो रही है आप वो यूज़ कर सकते हो. ये नहीं है कि भाई Redux तो डालना ही डालना है. I have seen developers जो जिसका प्रोजेक्ट में 2 कंपोनेंट है और वो पहले Redux बना रहे हैं, राइट? मतलब उसका Redux स्टोर और एक्शन वो पूरा जो भी है वो उनके कंपोनेंट से बड़े है, राइट? ये नहीं होना चाहिए. ऑलराइट, सो दैट्स अ एनालॉजी व्हिच आई वुड लाइक टू अंडरस्टैंड विद. Thank you so much, sir. So next, Chetan sir, I would like you to introduce yourself a bit.
Hello. Okay, myself Chetan, Hirapara. I am working as a lead data scientist at Teradata. Where my day-to-day job is talking with customers, client, and getting their requirements, converted them into the POC or MVP stage, especially GenAI. Since last 2-3 years, I am working in the GenAI. Before that, I was working as an ML engineer. And my company is mostly working on like building in DB functions. Okay, so anyone ML engineers here?
ML.
Anyone ML engineers? Okay, how of you? So what is the difference? Like if you have to build any machine learning model, okay, you have to first bring that data to your Jupyter notebook or your environment where you are running or training the model, right? So we are doing reverse on that. So keep your data where it is, okay? If it is in the database, keep it there. We are writing a SQL structure like a create decision forest model or decision tree model on XYZ columns, and such kind of there are 400 plus functions scheduled for all the stack, EDS stacks, visualization stacks, machine learning models. Even nowadays we are also working on the generative AI. So you can just build embedding models over there, and your data will be in your database. And still you can do parallel processing of generating embeddings and all.
Interesting. So sir, since you mentioned generative AI about 2-3 times, तो मैं तो वो पूछूंगा, right? So how do you see generative AI, changing? Like initially when generative AI was not there, and now up to है. So now when we are architecting the GCP का पूरा architecture etc. So now, due to the onboarding of Gen AI, how do you see the change in structure जो हम बनाते हैं, the architecture? How do you see that changing?
That is very good question. So before the Gen AI, okay, there are lot many things that you have to do manually. Okay, now you can see that vibe coding and lot many codes that you can also build with the AI. Okay, if we especially talking about the architecture part. So before that, like if there is a machine learning model, especially before the GenAI, there was machine learning model. So you have to think about how you can build a model, how you can make it productionized, how to make it scaling and all, right? So you might have to use Kubernetes, localized base, right? If you request us from tens to 10 billions, what will happen to a model? How it is biased, retraining and all, right? Especially in the GenAI, like now it is a part of all the business of all the cloud, okay? So it is by default scalable. Right, so GenAI model, you don't need to worry about the scalability and all. You don't need to worry about the security. It is by default, right? So that is the major change. Most of things are getting serverless, right? So you have to just say what is your business logic and how you want to utilize that. And again, it is a connected ecosystem, right? So before that, like you have to write some connectors that bring data to that models, and then it will do inference and all these things, right? So now all this is connected. You have to just worry about like what is the logic, how you implementing it, and that's all.
Got it. Thank you so much, sir. Saurabh sir, if you can quickly introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, and I'm Saurabh. I'm working as the DevOps for one of the company known as the Global Payment. So we are working on the fintech domain side. So we are one of the services provider for fintech payment gateway solutions for different customers. So if you are talking specifically, I'm core techie by heart. So if you are talking about most of the engagement handling with the Google, especially with the Google, so I've been involved almost 2 years now. Earlier I was part of the Children Innovator. Now they have inducted in the GD program. So our, the main motive to engage the various communities across the globe, wherever you are, especially the Indian communities, to gathering, sharing the knowledge, doing a lot of stuff in terms of the code lab, in terms of the conference talks and everything. So this is all about, and this is the third visit in this same city. Also covering the Gandhinagar. So last 6 months, this is the third visit with especially the Google GDs communities over there. And thanks for the invitation, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, I believe when I introduced you, सबके दिमाग में वो चीज़ तो होगा अभी 108 वाला, right? So just coming on that point, that in 2025, right, is doing certifications still valuable? I think there will be no one better than someone like you to answer this.
Okay. So any certificate you guys are going to receive without any terms is totally valid. If you are learning and earning the certificate on basis of the terms, like we have a set of question and just to remember those questions and give the certification, that is no value as I thought. So we are thinking I'm also interviewing so many candidates with different backgrounds, only on the cloud platform and the DevOps background. So you can analogy like certification is one of the passport for you, and whatever the experience you are gaining, whatever the different type of project you are doing in future or in coming project, that is acting as a different type of visa is coming over there as well. So certification is totally valid, and this is the like every company nowadays they are using the ATS, one of the tool to screening the different resume. And we as interviewer also thinking about who's guys are certified. We are taking the much preference for that guys as well. So this is one of the screening round, we can say, certifications over there before technical evaluations will be happening.
So basically, what you are saying is, even till today, certifications help you get the foot in the door.
Correct.
उसका interview तो आपको ही करना है.
Valid, yeah. Agree on that.
So how many of you are planning to do any certifications? GCP, AWS, or any other cloud? Okay. So sir, any 2-3 top certificates before we go on next round, if you can recommend.
If someone is looking to looking the career in the DevOps, cloud architect, or any automation engineer, there are so many roles is also evolving due to the AI stuff nowadays. So one of the cloud certification you should have, irrespective of the different cloud providers. It can be your Google, it can be your anything, whatever you want. One certification related with every workload nowadays due to the AI is working on the container side more. So Kubernetes is another certificate you guys should have at least. And one certification related with the automation. This can be anything, can be related with the Python, it can be related with your Terraform, like one of the product for Asambhav that is more related with infrastructure as a code. So these 3 certification is totally valid. If you are, especially due to the budget constraint, you are looking only the one certification, you can go for any of the architecture certifications from any cloud providers.
Got it. All right. So I have a question for probably all of you now, right? We are seeing the generative AI wave and everything going on, right? I think this is the first question I should definitely address, जो सबको पूछना है. After generative AI and when we are on this, what do you think software developers अभी क्या करें? Right? Or to rephrase the question, and this is for everyone, to rephrase the question, how many of you think कि भाई 5 साल बाद क्या होगा? सब कुछ तो चैट जीपीटी या जेमिनी कर रहा है. How many of you are question like this? Good. बाकी लोगों को भी होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमें खुद को भी है. ठीक है. So both for AI and cloud side, what are your opinions and thoughts on this thing? Maybe who would like to start on this? Sure.
So if we're talking about specific on the DevOps and the cloud side, so AI is going to be the game changer for all of us, right? We are moving from reactive to proactive approach nowadays. So reactive, we have the set of the rules. We are relying on that. We can do the troubleshooting if anything is going to happen. But after introductions of AI, there are many roles is coming in field of DevOps or cloud engineers. So if you're talking about nowadays, like everybody is talking about prompt engineering, everybody is talking about AI engineering. It can be your DevSecOps, it can be your observability. There's another business scam like observability AI tool. So and there are so many similar tools also going to be involved in the nowadays. MLOps is one of that, and so nowadays if everyone is only doing the SD task, like some sort of the developing job, they have to shift their mind, change their mind, like how can they involve the AI stuff in their work. So like everybody is doing any Python stuff or Node.js, any Java, you can do through the chat GPT. So let me give one of the big example. Like I have attended last year in Media AI Summit that is happening in the Mumbai last year, and the same question is going to be asked by Akshay Kumar, the modern Guru Jensen. So how is the AI going to impact for upcoming any developer, any gurus who are there? So they say, the modern Guru said, this is not going to be replace any job, they are not going to be no change, but the mindset of the developer, any techie guy should be changed. Like, they have to adopt AI, like, around to 20 to 30% job they are doing automating with AI. Nothing more than that. We are not going to totally replace it. So the guys who is not adopted AI and the guys who is adopting AI and they are automating the job to 20 to 30%, maybe some extent to 50%. That guy is definitely going to be replaced. The guy who is not having the AI tech. So this is the dramatic change happening.
Got it. Maybe Gautam sir, if you want to add, maybe Chetan sir, Rutvi, go on.
I think just like when we were on the fourth paradigm shift and we started building things on the cloud, there we got this new job description of DevOps. With this generative I am sure when I was talking about transforming, a lot of jobs would get transformed. Your job descriptions would be changed. For most of the roles, like we have Java developer, we have Python developer. I think right from the title to the job description, one thing that everyone should add in their resume, and not just in the resume, but as a skill, is how well we can utilize the tools available around us. When it comes to cloud, I think that is something inevitable for most of the organization. I don't see a escape when it comes to cloud. You have to utilize most of the services which are offered by Google or AWS, or there are other providers also. But yes, this transformation would lead to change job description and the way we used to operate. Right from the task doer to co-creating with machines is where we are going.
Got it. Thank you so much, sir. Who would like to? Okay.
We talk about like the different job descriptions and the job role will be different. Sam Altman recently stated that the customer support roles will be totally gone in the next 5 years. Right? But I still feel that Satya Nadella recently stated that there is a difference between the worker's knowledge plus and differentiated between the worker's knowledge and the work knowledge. So worker's knowledge will be gone and the work knowledge will be there. That means that the work will be changed, but you will still need a human intervention in between. So think of it as in Tony Stark without its Iron Man suit, it's just Tony Stark. So I feel you still need human interaction with AI. For example, the software developers, we currently in our company we are hiring white coders. So what we want from people, not just have a basic knowledge of Python or just a basic knowledge of Next.js. They must be skilled enough to be a part of every, even if it is a front-end team or a back-end team. So such kind of job roles will be changed. For example, I work as an AI product manager. So product management it previously was different. It was just the intersection of UX, business, and tech. Now product management is a intersection between the AI ethics team or the data engineers, ML engineers. So yes, the job descriptions are changing itself. So along with so yeah, this is my take.
Thank you so much. Chetan sir, ending notes on the.
Hello. So that is very good questions like is AI is going to replace the human or not? But at some intent, if you are not going to transform yourself, you will definitely. I was reading one blog post. It was very big, and it started from 1990 at the era of internet. Right? Many people thought that there will be not many job roles. And there was a Polar language, and there was a Python language. Right? Not many things changed over the time. I was working as a .NET developer. We were writing the .NET script and then MV, CCAM. Anything that if you don't know MVC, then you will get replaced, right? So there are a lot of many things change over the time. But it's not something that if you are not attaching or you are not adapting to the things, you might face some kind of the problem. Many clients, when we are in the client discussions, we are asking, what's your pain point? And they say, right now something is taking 2 days. Now we want to reduce that 2 days to 10 seconds or 10 minutes using the AI. That is the main people's looking out. It is not something that everyone is looking out to let go the people. Okay. Everyone is not interested to hire the people. But the same person can do some another productivity task. And that task that he is doing repeatedly, like spending 2 days for just comparing to Excel sheets, and can be done easily with the AI. So that is the thing, like how company can do more accurate work and increase their efficiency by 10 to 20% using the AI. That is the goal. So everyone's goal is not just to hire the people, but how they can increase more efficiency and how can they adapt to the changes using the AI.
Interesting. So before I add my point in that, how many of you are students? Oh, 90%. Got it. Rest are professionals, I'm assuming, or sleeping. All right. So just my view on and some summary of what the panels added. That previously 5 years back, if you are someone like you might be in second year, third year, fourth year, right? कुछ लोग जिसका केटी वेटी है उनका थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा ठीक है तो वंस यू आर इन प्री फाइनल ईयर इन बीटेक भी कंपनीज आती है प्लेसमेंट के लिए things happen smoothly चल रहा है you are first year in job second year in job but things have changed now right earlier the requirement was कि fresher की requirement ये कि वो अगर 4 लूप लगा लेगा 2 if state डाल देगा if else तो चलेगा बाकी हम उसको सिखा देंगे React Angular Node वगैरह now that bar has raised right अगर आप mediocre developer हो अगर आप अभी भी सो रहे हो मतलब not literally but in your 4 years. So this is a high time, right? You can talk to your seniors how the placements have changed in Ahmedabad, right? I go to a lot of universities. We hire from placements, right? This year things have changed, right? So you need to be updated. You just don't now need to higher knowledge of API कैसे लिखते हैं या select statement क्या है वो तो आना ही चाहिए right but you need to step up you need to understand little bit of how the system is working system design and सबसे main चीज़ be curious right कि आप जो चीज़ बना रहे हो अगर आपको API बनाने को बोला है तो API का काम क्या है right ये नहीं कि मेरे को बोला है 4 वेरिएबल आएंगे 3 वेरिएबल वापस देना है you need to step up your game right all right. So moving to our next round, I have a quick question for you guys. Let's say आप लोग अभी तो college में हो right? But let's say if your family is deciding to buy a car, right? तो आप लोग क्या देखते हो जब गाड़ी खरीदते हो तो? क्या थोड़ा जोर से आवाज़ है ऐसा बोलो? Mileage, right? हम तो पहले mileage देखते हैं कितना देगी, right? That was an ad, right? An old ad. कि वो यॉट के सामने खड़ा है और वो कहता है कि कितना देगी राइट कितने किलोमीटर पर आवर या कितना किलोमीटर पर लीटर सो सिमिलरली व्हेन यू आर डिसाइडिंग कि कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म यूज़ करना चाहिए, कैसा आर्किटेक्चर यूज़ होना चाहिए, तो एज अ एंटरप्रेन्योर हम भी ये चीज़ पहले देखते हैं कि भाई कितना देगी, मतलब कितना उसका कॉस्ट होगा, व्हाट इज़ द कॉस्ट ऑफ रनिंग दिस आर्किटेक्चर, राइट। एंड अब तो LLMs भी आ गए, LLMs को सेल्फ होस्ट करना वो अलग हाथी को पालने जैसा है, राइट। इट्स वेरी एक्सपेंसिव एंड दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द रीजन्स एंड देयर इज़ वन ऑफ द LLMs के पहले भी lot of people think that clouds are expensive, which in many cases they are, right. So that's the next question which I want to go into, that in many cases clouds are very expensive. Of course I am not comparing to on-prem, usse to expensive hi hoga, but even to something similar to smaller cloud platforms like which is like VPS वगैरह जैसे होते हैं, for example DigitalOcean के अपने droplets ले लिए या some other platforms, even we ourselves have seen कि अगर छोटा एप्लीकेशन है तो GCP या AWS पे, राइट, फॉर द सेम नंबर ऑफ ट्रैफिक और बिलिंग्स विल यूजुअली बी 2x 3x एट टाइम्स compared to DigitalOcean droplet, right. So that's the reason why a lot of people are scared to go to clouds, right. And यहाँ पे काफ़ी बच्चे जो like some professionals who are trying to build their MVPs. So what are your views कि क्लाउड पे जाना चाहिए नहीं जाना चाहिए, राइट, LLMs को सेल्फ होस्ट करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए, कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस क्या है, राइट। LLMs पे थोड़ा हम डिटेल में तो और आगे चर्चा करेंगे, बट सो आई वांट टू ओपन दैट क्वेश्चन फॉर द पैनल. सो मे बी हु वांट टू टेक दिस, चेतन सर और मे चेतन सर, इफ यू टेक दैट फर्स्ट, वहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हैं, रिवर्स ऑर्डर करते हैं. ओके.
So if choosing the cloud, we require a good, asset like solution architect guys. So first question like we have actually migrated to the cloud or not. So it depends on the different use cases. Like a lot of companies like MSMEs, like small, medium range of companies. And this is the question is only mainly arises from those companies, those type of companies as well. So cost is going to be the important factor everybody is talking about. So choosing the services, like we have the diverse world of the cloud services we have. So choosing the services and how we can choose, how can we choose the services which is actually fitting our the different use cases, like customized use cases we have. So depend on scenarios to scenarios. So in my case, most of the companies should migrate, at least take the feel of the cloud first. Why? There are so many offerings. Like suppose I am a founder, maybe I am starting off a new venture. So they are, especially talking about the Google. So they have the startup program on which we are getting a lot of credit, free credits.
It's like a test drive.
Test drive, some sort of. And you actually, whatever the test drive you are going to do, it's going to achieve. Then they are also providing some more credits to you. So there is no boundary of getting the cost on that factor. But that's why nowadays a lot of cost optimization is also going to be happening. So a lot of companies now they have been introducing the FinOps practices. Something like the financial operations. They have a dedicated team which are mostly dealing with the cost optimization and stuff. So choosing the services is very important. Like you have to understand your use case. Like I'm just building the normal site, and I know the peak traffic is going to be increased exponentially day by day. So you have to choose, like you have to think about the container, maybe the Kubernetes on that. But you understand there is no higher rate happening on your website, so you can choose normal VM services. So it depends what type of use cases, what type of design, and what type of requirement you guys are looking for. Accordingly, you have to select the services into the services.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Like adding to what you said, it totally depends on the use case. But if you are leaning towards changing something big, like when we talk about the forecasting, and that's exactly what I was discussing with the like Sage, that how you are, what your company is up to, and she started saying we got 5 different models on top of it, and some orchestrating layer which would help us. So in this ever-changing era, I think we should utilize the power, but yes, definitely keeping the cost in mind with respect to what type of use case you are trying to serve. So cloud would be, as I said, it would be inevitable depending on what sort of solution you are bringing. So there would be a lot of GPUs and APUs would come, and GenAI would transform not only the way we live but also the cloud infrastructure with the recent advancement in the hardwares. And the recent, we got a lot of different data centers, nuclear power data centers, which would be able to process that information with the advancement of the hardware. So I think we have to keep a lot of dimensions in mind, and also what type of use case or what type of problem we are solving.
Interesting take. Maybe Chetan sir, if you want to add on that.
So it was very nice question. Should I deploy LLM model on myself GPUs, or I should use the third party? Can anyone tell me what is the factor you will see when someone of your clients say that, hey, I want to build this chatbot, now tell me what is the costing? Should I have to buy GPU or should I have to use third party LLMs? What will be your first question to your client?
Before going to that, आप में से कितने लोगों ने चैटबॉट बनाए हैं? क्यों नहीं बना रहे हो भाई? Okay, fine.
Yeah, anyone would like to give the answer? So my question was कि आपको कोई कस्टमर आके बोलता है कि आपको ये चैटबॉट बनाना है. Now you give me the costing, and will you deploy your LLM in your in-house or on premises, or you will use third-party LLM? What will be your first question? Yes, sir.
What is the traffic user engagement for that chatbot will define?
Okay, that is one point. Any other one?
Scalability.
Okay, scalability one can be managed. Next, even उससे भी ज़्यादा important point होता है.
Data privacy.
Yeah, perfect. Data privacy, right? तो अगर वो public data ही है, then there is no matter for me मैं कहाँ पे भी deploy करूँ, कौन सा भी LLM use करूँ. Public का ही दे, no problem. But when some sensitive data is coming to the picture, like financial data or some of the really sensitive data that is company's IP, at that time company will say that भाई ये मेरा lab है, तेरे को जो deploy करना है यहाँ से कर. No, nothing should be go outside. Nothing should go to the LLM. Even I can switch off the internet and my cloud infrastructure, my chatbot should work. That is a privacy, right? So this is the important things when you do any kind of discussion with the client. You have to first understand how sensitive data is here, and suppose your data get leaked, how much you can afford the resistance, right? So that is the most important. Now, if some clients say that, yeah, I'm okay to go with the third-party LLM, there are again 2-3 more questions. You know anyone Azure, OpenAI, there are two kinds of services that OpenAI. If you go with the direct OpenAI, there might be possibility there of data leakage. If you go with the Azure OpenAI, so Azure itself gives a clarity that your data is not going to be used for training. Right? So that is a cloud guarantee. So again, you have to select what you should do in such cases. In some of the cases, like let's say you go with the Google, right? So there are not many other options as well. If you go with the Padlet, there are other many options like you can do your application cloud agnostic, right? Under the good, you can change any other LLMs. But if you go with the OpenAI only, then there is again the problem that you have to only use OpenAI models, right? So all these key factors is very important when you are selecting the cloud LLM versus the in-house deployment of the LLM.
Interesting.
Sundar Mishra recently stated that AI is going to be more profound than fire and electricity. That means that without cloud, that power would be just trapped in the labs, right? So, for instance, even the CEO of NVIDIA has also stated that they are building a super intelligence and they are building it up they are focusing on building supercomputers for $500 billion in the upcoming years. I'll share my personal journey with Weam when we were discussing what cloud should go on. So as we integrate the models in our platforms, LLM, anyone here knows what vector databases are? So now here we also have to see when deploying the cloud, if you are working with GenAI, you have to also see the compatibility if the cloud is eligible to work or it is compatible to work with the vector databases. So this is something that you need to keep in mind while deploying your solutions. So so there are like a lot of open source vector databases like Pinecone, Quadrant, then even like in Google like also we can like deploy the like host the vector databases, and AWS also like recently had that S3 vectors. So one thing you have to keep in mind when deploying the LLM solutions to cloud is that if they are compatible with the vector data.
Interesting. Just to add my last point on that matter, right? कि if you are starting by, right, आपको पता नहीं है GCP क्या है, AWS क्या है, किसमें कितना खर्चा होगा, right? सबका ना you have a calculator. आपको AWS का भी कैलकुलेटर मिलेगा, आपको GCP का भी कैलकुलेटर मिलेगा, आपको Azure का भी, I have not used that calculator because client का पैसा बहुत था, but ideally सब clouds पे you have that thing, right? So you can determine based on that. ठीक है. So moving to the last section of the panel today, we'll have a quick, rapid fire kind of thing, and then I have some last question for you guys as well. ठीक है. So this is not coffee with Karan. This is Pani with Shreyan, right? So will you guys know what rapid fire is? So I'll just quickly go through few things, and what comes up in your mind, you can quickly answer on that part. All right. One cloud myth you wish you wish it would disappear. One cloud myth you wish it would disappear. जो लोगों को होता है, clients को होता है, या students को होता है, या professionals को होता है, कोई myth.
Okay. So myth is like mostly customers expecting GenAI 1 + 1 = always 2. But it is not true.
Okay. Anyone else? Any
Can
myth?
be like a lot of clients facing in terms of the security. They have so many security constraints. But what I believe and what we implemented, cloud is more secure than on-prem resources.
So cloud is more secure than on-prem. Correct. Okay. So anything what comes up on mind? Or maybe next question. Yeah. All right. So do you think AI is like and from the AI things, any particular keyword in the AI space that's used mostly like a buzzword with its less value? Which would be that word?
I believe production ready. Everybody is talking about AI. But there is nothing in real life as the production ready yet.
I think delay of.
Okay.
I think agent. हर जहाँ पे एजेंट नहीं पता वो बोलेंगे हमने तो एजेंट डाला है. Yeah, exactly. But under the agent is nothing, just one function which takes some parameters and gives them output.
Yeah.
I think it's prompt engineering.
प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग भाई किससे सुना है लास्ट 2 साल में कि प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग नाम का डेजिग्नेशन आएगा? सुना होगा, हमने भी बहुत बोला है ऐसा. ठीक. So being conscious of time, I'll have let's have one small thing with you guys. तो मैं ना कुछ क्लाउड की सर्विसेज के नाम बताऊंगा. ठीक है, आपको बताना है कि वो इफ इट इज़ अ सर्विस लेजिट, अगर वो सर्विस है तो आपको बोलना है येस, अगर नहीं है तो आपको बोलना है नो. क्लियर है? फिर से मैं एक बार रिपीट करता हूँ. मैं कुछ क्लाउड की सर्विस का नाम बताऊंगा, राइट, जो GCP पे होगा. तो अगर वो है, एग्जिस्ट करता है, तो आपको बोलना है येस, नहीं करता है तो आपको बोलना है नो. क्लियर है? इसमें तो येस बोल लो, ये तो क्लियर ही होना चाहिए. ऑल राइट. सो बिग क्वेरी, ओके. क्लाउड पल्स, ठीक है, ये टेस्ट था. राइट. वर्टेक्स AI, जेमिनाई, क्लाउड रन, क्लाउड डायनामो. तुक्का मारो तो नहीं भाई. राइट. कंप्यूट स्फीयर. ठीक है, ओके. ऑल राइट. Can we have do you have a minute for taking one question if someone has time here? We can take one question. Yeah, we'll take one from that side.
सर ये क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग की जो बातें होती है तो उसका एआई से क्या मतलब फ्यूचर है या मतलब क्या इसका क्या स्कोप है आगे क्या हो सकता है कि ये सब जो अभी हमें दिख रहा है तो पूरा का पूरा चेंज हो जाएगा अगर क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग अपने फुल फेज में आ जाएगा.
It's a good question. Summarize करने का try करते हैं जल्दी.
That's very subjective, but I think 5 years down the line, that's where we are mostly moving, and it would be AGI. That's the term that would come in the market, and I don't think we have 5 years for it. It's like it would be there coming 2 years. And quantum computing, GenAI is shifting the job description. I think with quantum computing, it will change things forever. I was in one of the conference last 2 weeks ago in Toronto, and they were saying like, imagine a world where you don't have to pay for any goods or any services. Most of the things would be handled by robots. Most of the things would be available for free. So that's where the world is going. It's a real thing, sir.
Just to add on that point, see if and when we have a productionized and a very more frequent use case of quantum, like it comes in, so the landscape will change a lot. Because for example, हम जितना भी email use करते हैं, जो भी चीज़ यूज़ करते हैं, right, it uses encryption, SHA होता है, it has hash, right. हम जब बोलते हैं कि secure है, whenever we say कि कुछ चीज़ secure है ना, that means that doesn't mean कि वो impossible है break करना. It means कि वो किसी सुपर कंप्यूटर को अगर लेंगे 1 महीना चलेगा तो ब्रेक होगा, बट उसका जो खर्चा होगा वो डेटा की वैल्यू से कहीं ज़्यादा है. बट व्हेन क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग comes in at this level, when we are not just 0 or 1, we can be both.
Yes.
At that time, the complete network security layer will change. तो वो आएगा तो एक अच्छी चीज़ ये होगी कि अपने जॉब्स बढ़ जाएगी. That is a good thing. All right. I think we are very short in time. We'll take it offline, right? And we have many more questions to go, but we are short of time. So thank you so much, all of you, for being generous with your knowledge. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.